rocking a little bit from side to side. And then we'll release the upper body down. Try to reach for your bolster or pillow and bring it to the right side of your yoga mat. We'll do a hip opener, a hip warm up. We're going to go into some deep hip stretches tonight. So point the sole of your foot up toward the ceiling and bend your left knee about 90 here. So this is your left leg that's lifted. And then taking your hand up to the outside of your foot or using your strap there to hold your foot up. So this is a version of Happy Baby. So your right foot, you can plant your foot down on the ground here. Or for a little deeper stretch, you can actually straighten the right leg and point your toes up toward the sky. Then with your left arm, try to think about suctioning your shoulder down into the ground and stepping into your hand. So your hand or the strap is pulling down against your foot and your foot is pushing up into it. Your right arm could be on your torso if you want to notice how you're breathing, or it could come out to the side in any placement. And let's take about probably 7 to 10 more breaths here. This is a great warm up for the left hip. And it's also a nice inversion, so it's going to help to change our blood flow a little bit right off the bat in our class this evening. Maybe try to think about suctioning that left shoulder down a little more toward the ground and pushing your foot up toward the sky. And then settle into this posture for these last couple breaths. Maybe now you can relax into it for this last breath, taking a very long inhale and exhale. And then as you're ready, take your right arm up, bring it across your calf of the lifted leg and draw it across to your bolster. So we'll take a twist now. And so you can rest your knee there on your pillow or your bolster. Your hips will stack. And then you could maybe expand your arms out to a T with your palms up. Now your bottom leg, the right leg can stay straight, or to make this more gentle, you can bend the knee, kind of kick the foot back behind you. And then try to melt your shoulders down to the ground as much as you can. And maybe turning your gaze away to the left if you'd like to twist your neck a little bit here. 10 to 15 breaths, allowing our spines to unravel. Allowing your organs to receive some compression here. And receiving this as a passive posture. So maybe you can visualize like your bones being heavy, sinking into the ground, your joints being soft. Relax your face and jaw. Take a few more breaths. And then once you feel complete in this posture, when you're ready to move on, then begin to lift your leg back up, bringing your head and neck to neutral. And you can take a moment maybe to hug your knees in again if that feels helpful. And then we'll move to the other side. So start by switching your bolster over the opposite direction. And then your right knee is going to bend and face your sole of foot toward the ceiling. You can either strap the bottom of your foot or you can clasp it with your hand. Your left foot can be planted on the ground. And then lower your torso down to the mat when you're ready. Option to straighten the left leg if you'd like. And here we find this version of Ananda Balasana on this side. Your left arm can extend out with your palm up. And again, it feels like your foot is kind of pushing up toward the sky, but your shoulder on the right side is suctioning down into the ground. It creates like a back and forth movement of energy between your foot and your hand. So at first this can be kind of active so that maybe you'll find a stretch that feels really helpful for you. And then once you have found that stretch, then the idea is to relax into it as much as you can. You'll still have to keep your right hand and arm kind of active to hold your foot up, but other than that, relax your body. Take a couple more breaths here. And then remembering that you are your own guru. You really know yourself better than anyone, and you know your body best. You can stay here longer if you feel you need some more time. Or when you're ready, you can start to transition into the twist. So bringing your left hand up and across your leg and drawing it over across your body to find your pillow or your bolster. Your hips can stack. And then you can let your arms extend out, remembering bending the bottom knee is a way to help make this stretch a little bit more gentle. You could turn your head to the right if you'd like. And surrendering into this twist for 10 to 15 breaths, about a minute. You can return your awareness back to your mantra, your intention you set, if you'd like. If you're working with this idea of simplicity, then one of the best ways to enjoy simplicity is just by finding the present moment. So I invite you to return to your breath awareness, notice your body. Our yoga practice can remind us that some of the best things in life are the simple things. And especially in a time of deep gratitude for feeling safe and having clean air to breathe. You may find joy in these very simple ideas and observances that maybe we didn't think about quite as much before. Now, when you are ready, use your core to bring your knee back up with an inhale, and then shifting around to find your body neutralized. You can tick-tock your knees from side to side. You can hug them in, whatever feels the best for you. And then we will slowly make our way up to seated when you're ready. So once you feel like you've released your spine, you can either rock and roll your body to seated, or you can turn onto one side and use your hands to push yourself up. When we get there, we will take a forward fold first, and then we'll go into some hip options. So it might be helpful perhaps to prop your hips up on a blanket, if you have one handy, or a bolster. And then we will extend through our legs. You can use a strap here as well, so I'll demonstrate that one for you too. Come to the edge of your blanket. So The point of the blanket is to help you curve your low back a little bit. So you want to shift forward until you feel like your sitting bones are on the blanket. You just have a nice arching in your low back. And then if you'd like, you can have blocks or cushion nearby to help you. Engage through your thighs. Flex your feet just like you're standing on the ground. So push forward a little bit through the pads of your feet to flatten them. Noticing they're making the number 11. The outsides of your feet are parallel. Then take a moment to bring your hands right under your shoulders here and lengthen up through your spine. Reaching up through your crown of head. Engage your core. And then as you're ready, you can start to fold. And this is where maybe we'll use some props. So perhaps you bring something onto your lap. It can be nice if you're able to rest your forehead down onto something. And if you're working with a strap or a belt tonight, you can loop it on the bottoms of your feet. Now, even if you don't usually use a strap or a belt, you might consider using it tonight. And one of my favorite things to do in this posture is to wrap the strap around both of my hands, and then that way you don't have to hold on quite as much. Bringing your forehead to your block, or if you don't have props, you can just let your forehead hang toward your lap. We'll enjoy this forward bend for a couple minutes. So you have the choice either to keep your legs active here, or if it feels safe in your back, you can relax your legs. You'll probably feel this along your back body. Could be your back along your spine or the backs of your legs. And it creates kind of like a oval pattern in our bodies. Your hands connected to your feet or your strap or your legs. Bring in your breath awareness, maybe using belly breaths to help you relax more and receive the stretch. All right, 3 more breaths here. Empty your lungs with this next exhale. And then as you begin to inhale, look forward and slowly lift your torso up. You can move your props off to the side and bring your hands under your shoulders. So lean back on your hands and bend your knees, planting your feet. Now, my favorite thing to do here is to turn my fingers away from my hips. This is a nice stretch for your wrist, and it helps to open the chest and shoulders a little bit more. Now, you can stay here. And if you're wanting a really gentle version of this posture, just round your body, kind of tuck your chin, and it's almost like you're just letting yourself just fall toward the ground. Your abdomen kind of caving in towards your spine, and you can stay there if you'd like. Or if you're looking for something a little bit more active, then start to lift your hips up off of the ground, and they can hover, or maybe you bring them up a little bit closer toward the height of your knees and shoulders. We won't be here for very long since this is gentle yoga tonight, so just take a few breaths. You can either look up at the ceiling, or if you'd like to stretch your neck a little bit, then start to look back. And then now, as you're ready, tuck your chin, and everyone can return our hips back to the ground. Now let's take a moment to cave out. So wrap your arms around your knees, forehead towards your knees, And you can rock your body a little bit from side to side if that feels helpful. Moving into our hip openers next, I have two options for you tonight. The most gentle option is going to be figure 4, and then you can also choose to go towards stacked fire log if you'd like. So I usually move my blanket off to the side for this, and then extend your left leg out and pick up your right foot with your left hand and just kind of rock out your right hip for a moment here. And then you can take your ankle and place it on your thigh just above your knee. So this is figure 4, okay? And if you're taking this option, you can either do it sitting upright and folding towards your extended leg, or you can lay on your back, okay? So that would be the first option for our hip opener. If you're looking for a deeper hip stretch tonight, then lift your leg up again and bend the left knee in so that you have 90-degree bends in your knees and your ankle is right on top of your knee right on top of ankle. I'll turn to the side so you can see those joints are stacked and both feet are flexed deeply. So this is stacked fire log. You can pad the top knee if that feels helpful. You can bring props in front of you if you'd like, and then options to stay upright in your body or to fold forward. So we're all either in a figure 4 version or a fire log. And we'll hold the hip stretch for a few minutes. So that, we need to spend some extra time opening our hip joints. It's the biggest joint in your body. For many people, it's the most tight region of their body. There's a lot of tension that can build up here. And so in yoga, whenever we take our hip stretches, it's helpful if we can spend a little extra time there. So we're just gonna enjoy this stretch for a couple minutes tonight. And I invite you to bring your whole holistic experience into it. So notice your body and maybe asking yourself if there's any way you can relax. Do you feel any areas in your body that feel like they're gripping, that feel tight? And if so, can you relax? Send the signals. Relax, relax. And use your breath to help with that process. So you could breathe into those tight spots and breathe slowly and try to exhale for longer than your inhale. And as well, allow your mind just to be softly focused on your intention tonight. When our minds are more relaxed, our bodies open more. They also become more relaxed. It's all interconnected. So if you find yourself kind of wandering away on a thought stream about what happened earlier or what might happen tomorrow, then rein it back in. Return to your tools. Relax your body. Focus on your breath. And allow your mind to be softly focused. Maybe just returning to the word simplicity. Few more breaths here. If you're in stacked fire log and your palms are down, I invite you maybe to try turning your palms up instead and see how that might shift your experience. And just 1 or 2 more breaths. Exhaling together again, push every last drop of air out of your lungs. And then allow the inhale to gently lift your body back up towards seated, leaning back on your hands. Extend your legs and paddle out your legs. And then as you're ready, we'll move to the other side. Extend your right leg and grab your left foot. And then rock out your left hip. Sit up nice and tall while you're doing this. Let your sternum and your chest lift. And then you can choose to do figure 4 if you'd like. You want your ankle to be on the meaty part of your thigh, not your knee. You can stay upright and fold in figure 4, or you can lie on your back to do figure 4. Or if you'd like to do stacked fire log, then the bottom knee bends and you want to try to stack your joints. So we have ankle knee alignment. Both feet are flexed deeply to protect your knee. And then you can pad under the lifted knee if you'd like. Finding your expression and breathing into it, settling into your hip opener of choice for a few minutes, using your tools for peace. Relax your body, even noticing your face and jaw relax, your forehead, shoulders. Stay focused on your breath. Maybe just allowing yourself, your mind to be focused on something or someone in your life that is just simple and so good. Still have about a minute left in this posture. I oftentimes find myself a little amused by how human beings have a real tendency to overcomplicate things. And I personally have been quite humbled and just so grateful for the awareness that this experience has brought me. That we can live a more simple life. We don't have to go to the store for every little thing or replace something that could be fixed. And there's beauty in growing your own food and preserving your leftovers. I'm sure we've all experienced some of these silver linings. Last breath or two here at your own rhythm, your own pace. And then when you are ready, begin to find your way back towards seated. Leaning back on your hands. If you want a little challenge, turn your fingers away from your hips and you can paddle your legs or you can just slide your legs along the ground. Maybe a big open mouth exhale. Maybe a nice sigh as well. And then we'll move on to our bellies. So if you like to have some extra padding, you can use a blanket under your hips. And coming down onto your stomach. Feel free to do maybe a couple cat-cows first before you lie all the way down. And then when you get to your abdomen, once you find this prone posture, you can maybe stack your hands up at the top of your mat, rest your head there, and take a moment to bend your knees and make windshield wipers out of your feet, left to right. Let your hips move a little bit too. And then as you're ready, bring your chin to neutral. You can keep your knees bent. And you either want to flex your feet like this or you can point your feet. I prefer the point, so that's where you're pushing the balls of your feet toward the sky and your toenails are kind of pulling back toward the top of your feet. Now you can bring your arms alongside your body with your palms in and then rest your chin down on the ground. This might be enough. If this is enough, just stay here. Otherwise, if you want to try a back bend, then let's exhale together. And with an inhale, lift your upper body. You could stay there, or you could also choose to lift your lower body. This is gentle yoga, so you can stay freehand here, but if you really want the full expression of this posture, then maybe clasping your feet. Knowing that there are so many different spots, you can stop along the way, and you can always go back to a previous option. Just a couple more breaths here. You might start to rock a little bit with your breath. Look forward and really lift your chest. Draw your shoulder blades together. One more inhale. And then exhale, relax everything down. Turn your face the other direction and take a break. You could rock your hips a little bit from side to side. You could do an open mouth exhale. And then inhaling back to neutral. Lift your torso up and bring your forearms under your shoulders. So you want your elbows directly under your shoulders on both sides. Your forearms are making the number 11. If you look back, allow your legs to be about hip distance and just relaxed legs. And then looking forward, begin to ground down through your pelvis. On an exhale, also push down through your forearms and palms. And then inhale, peel your chest forward and up and look up toward the ceiling. Drawing your shoulders together and down your back, and this is called Sphinx pose. So we can make this posture more gentle or more of a deep stretch. So if you're wanting a deeper stretch, then you can really push down through your forearms and palms and lift up through your chest and look up. If you're wanting a more gentle experience, then you can relax your head and neck and let it hang heavy. And an even more gentle option would be bringing your elbows forward, clasping your hands and resting your chin there on your hands. Bring your forearms to the mat again if they're not down. Push down into your knees and curl your toes under. And then with an exhale, lift your hips back and up, and we'll do melting heart. So you can walk your knees in closer towards your face. Send your hips back and up, and then your forehead can come toward the ground, or you can bring something underneath of your forehead or chest and just let your upper body melt toward the ground. Forearms are still on the mat. If this is too much, then just grab your cushion and bring it right under your chest. A little extra support there. Three to five more breaths. And then when you feel complete in the posture, rise up slightly, bring the tops of your toes down, and settle down into a much deserved child's pose. Feeling free to have your prop there under your torso. Your face can turn either direction. Big toes are touching, but you can choose if you want to have your knees together or V'd out. Breathing deeply into your back body, allowing your back body to rise and fall with your breath. Noticing all the parts of your body. We've pretty much done a posture for every body part. So maybe noticing how you feel. Your hips, fronts and backs of your legs, fronts and backs of your torso, your head and your neck. Three more breaths here, feeling all the contact points of your body on the ground. And then feeling the expansiveness of your back body, rising with each inhale and lowering with each exhale. And then as you're ready, begin to look up and lift your body up a little bit. Try to bring your knees all the way together if you can. And then sink your hips back to your heels again. This time, wrap your arms around the side bodies. So try to clasp your heels, or if that's not available, then clasp your hands behind your back. And then really tuck your chin so that you're rolling your forehead towards your knees as you exhale. And when you're ready to inhale, lift your hips. So you're kind of rolling to the crown of your head. And this is called rabbit pose. Push down through your shins and your knees and keep lifting your hips just for about 3 to 5 more breaths, feeling your shoulders expanding, your spine stretching. And now, as you're ready, releasing your hips back down and coming into child's pose, just relax your arms and take a moment to rock your body a little bit from side to side, rolling out your head and neck. With an inhale, slowly rising up to kneeling. Now, if you have a block or something similar to a block, go ahead and grab it. If you don't have one, it's okay. You can do this without. And we'll lie onto our backs. And when you get there, start with a nice full body stretch, reaching your fingers away from your toes. And then grab your block and bring it up above your head. If you don't have a block, you can just pretend. So it's in between your hands, and you're gonna lift it up above your head and push your hands onto the sides of your block, and then let your underarms roll open toward the ceiling. What does that feel like? Yeah, so open through your underarms, letting your shoulder blades kind of splay open here. Then begin to bend your knees and walk your heels in closer to your hips, kind of as close as you feel comfortable. Pushing down through your feet. As we exhale, keeping your arms as they are, and then inhale, lift your hips up off the ground. Then if you have a block, go ahead and slide it under your sacrum. So that's the flat bone at the base of your spine, and your block could be at any level. It could be at the low, middle, maybe even the high level, but you just want to make sure you feel very stable when you lower your hips down onto it. Now, if you don't have a block, then you can just keep your hips lifted, but making sure to take a break when you get a little bit tired there. So if you do have your hips on the block, go ahead and push your arms down into the mat, palms down, and really broaden through your shoulder blades. And start to take some belly breaths, letting your belly expand and contract fully. I call it the Buddha belly, and you can really let it blow up big as you inhale and sink back in as you exhale. 3 more breaths like that, still using your arms to stabilize your body and only really looking up toward the ceiling as much as possible to keep your head in alignment. And then engage your core and maybe start to lift one or both legs up toward the sky. So you could do one at a time, keeping the other foot planted, or you could try both at the same time. If you don't have a block, then you can just do this with your hips on the ground. Lifting your legs up. Once you've found the placement you like, then you're welcome to explore like pointing and flexing your feet or rolling out your ankles. And maybe giving your feet some love, on the topic of simplicity, we don't really think about our feet very much, most of us, but they are carrying us around all day long for all of our activities. They take us. So maybe just taking a moment to appreciate your feet, maybe spreading your toes out and wiggling your toes. You can wave to yourself with your toes. And then finding stillness here, taking a few breaths. We're just getting an inversion. So this one is so good for any swelling of our ankles. It's really good for blood pressure, also for lymphatic drainage and kind of just the circulation of all of the systems of our body. So just breathing deeply and enjoying that, this passive inversion. One more inhale and exhale, taking a full breath cycle. And then take one more big full inhale. And then use your exhale to lower your feet down with control. So you can choose, you can do one foot at a time, or if you want, you can try to move both feet at the same time and plant them both down on the ground together. Inhale to lift your hips, remove your block, bring it straight up from your chest, palms on the sides of your block, and then lift your heels. As you exhale, start to slowly lower your spine down And at the same time, bring the block up above your head. Push your heels into the mat, roll your underarms open, and begin to push the block away from your body, stretching your arms as long as you can. Couple breaths. And then leaving your block there, bring your hands back down to your torso, maybe giving yourself another hug. You really can't do that enough. So we have one more posture, a twist. This one's called cat pulling its tail. It's a yin posture. I do think it might be a little bit difficult to teach through the screen, but I'm going to do my best for you guys, for you all. So take your strap or your belt. If you do have a strap, you can actually make a loop on the end. That might be helpful. And then we're going to strap it on the left foot. So see how mine's kind of tight on my foot? If it's possible to do that, that's great. If not, just hold both sides of the strap. So left foot. Okay, and then the tricky thing is getting it over to the right side of your body. And then you're just gonna kind of lay onto your left side. Make sure you have a bolster over there on the left side as well. All right, so this is like a twist mixed with a quadricep stretch. So you'll take your right leg up and across. So you can rest it on the bolster perhaps. And then you'll use your right hand to pull the strap and draw your left foot or your bottom foot back behind you. And then again, I really like to wrap my hand onto the strap so I don't have to work so hard. And then let your chest melt down and extend your left arm. Okay, so to recap, the right leg is on top, the knee is bent and it's resting on your bolster to twist your body. The left leg is on the bottom, your knee is bent, strap is on that bottom foot and you're holding it with your right hand. Shoulders melting to the ground and breath flowing, of course. And as you settle into this posture, you might notice, yes, it's a twist through my spine, and also I might feel a stretch of the bottom leg, the quadricep, the front of the hip flexor, perhaps. We'll stay here for about another minute, so maybe asking your body to relax a little more, feeling your bones becoming heavy. If you feel like you need to stabilize that top knee, you can use your left hand to do that. Three to five more long flowing breaths. Maybe these are the longest breaths you've had so far today. Slowest breaths you've taken. Again, feeling free to stay longer if this is feeling really helpful for you. These yin postures can be held for like 8 to 10 minutes each, so feel free to stay if you'd like. Otherwise, if you're ready to move on, then let go of the strap. Come back to center on your mat and lift up your feet. And then just switch foot the strap is on. And kind of bring it over to the left side of your body so you'll be able to reach it there. And move your bolster or your pillow to the right side of your mat. And then turn so that your hips start to stack and your left knee comes to the top of your bolster. The bottom leg is bent and you can reach back and clasp your strap, maybe wrapping it around your hand and kind of kicking that knee back as far as you feel comfortable. Trying to melt both of your shoulders down onto the ground and extending through your right arm, palm up. Maybe turning your gaze to the left if that feels helpful, and also feeling free to anchor your top knee with your right hand if you would like. Melting in to absorb this posture for about a minute. So during these difficult times that we're going through collectively, I've heard a lot of people say that they feel like they're on kind of an emotional roller coaster. Some really positive, bright moments, and then some dark and difficult times. And I'm trying to remind my yoga students and my friends and family that it's okay. It's okay to be soft and to crumble and to melt. This is new territory. None of us have ever done this before. And it's hard. I came across a quote by Rumi that really resonated with me that I'd like to share with you. He said, "Very little grows on jagged rock. Be the ground and crumble so that wildflowers will come up where you are." Take a couple more breaths here. Of course, you can stay longer if it is feeling really helpful. And then when you are ready to come out of this posture, let go of the strap and come back to center, lifting up your knees. You can rock a little bit from side to side. You can take the strap off completely when you're ready. Moving into the final relaxation, the final meditation. You might place a bolster or pillow under your knees. That can be really helpful for releasing the back. And then you could choose to maybe even have your legs in butterfly if that feels comfortable. Or you can extend your legs out long. Arms are alongside your body, palms up, or you can place your arms in any way. So maybe trying some other ideas and see what feels the best for you. You could even give yourself a nice big hug and stay there for Shavasana if you'd like. Closing your eyes when you're ready and feeling a wave of peacefulness engulfing you. From the tips of your toes, up your legs, knees, hips. Your lower body is relaxing, and your lower body is relaxed. Your abdomen, spine, organs, rib cage, becoming peaceful. And your midsection is relaxed. Your chest, shoulders, arms, hands. Maybe they feel like they're melting. Perhaps feeling a sense of love in your palms. Relax your arms and hands. And then your face, jaw, cheeks, eyes, forehead can be soft. Allowing your tongue to rest on your upper teeth and breathing through your nostrils. Pause from talking for a few minutes and play the singing bowls and allow you to have your meditation. And I'll let you know when it's time to come out. Om Shanti 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 He. Peace. Peace.
Since you are in the comfort of your own home, I invite you to feel free to stay in Shavasana if you would like. You can even fall asleep. If you're ready to close your practice, then start to bring some small movements into fingers and toes and breath. Roll your head a little bit from side to side or stretch your arms up toward the sky. Maybe rolling onto one side of your body when you're ready. And then allowing the next few breaths to help bring you up to a seated posture. And feel free to keep your eyes closed if you'd like. Kind of stay in this state. And once you get to seated, take a moment to lengthen your spine, open your shoulders, and lengthen the back of your neck. And take a couple breaths here. And maybe bringing your hands to meet in front of your heart or resting them on your heart. May we move forward in a space of honoring simplicity. May we enjoy the simple beauties, the simple gifts, and the joy of this life. Namaste.